yeah, so on that note, I think I'm going to end this video here. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm talking shit, ain't I? Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and before we get into today's video, I'd just like to say if you like today's video, give us a thumbs up. Always helps with the algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit that red subscribe button, and if you are a subscriber, hit that notification bell. That way every time this screamer uploads a video, you will get notified as I get some crazy birds fly out in front of me. So what are we talking about today? Let's get into this. So yeah, I've had a bit of an issue with my front end, and it's all to do with suspension settings. So I've got new tyres on the bike, well, fairly new. I've got Bridgestones, went from Avons to Bridgestones. Bridgestones BT23s. This is touring stroke sports tyre. Give you a bit of extra wear because I do a lot of miles. Anyway, so the other day I was going through checking my suspension settings, just make sure all the compression and rebound dampening and all the rest of it was on the standard settings, because pretty much that is perfect for this bike on the road, that is. So check the back one, that seemed to be out. I don't know if someone's been fiddling around with the knobs, don't have the gremlins, or someone else has been playing around with the compression setting, but that was off by a few clicks, so I put that back to standard. And with forks, so on here it says in the manual or online that it should be 4 lines showing on the top of the forks. So checked them, and I've actually did adjust them. I adjusted them so there was only, I think I had it so there was only 3 showing, and that seemed to be okay. So anyway, the other day I was riding home in the wet, and my front end just seemed so different. It was so unnerving when you're tipping it in left or right. It felt as if the front tyre wanted to wash away. Anyway, so I put it back. I put it back to the setting that I had originally when I did it with the Avons, and so far, yeah, feels back to how it should do. It doesn't feel like it wants to drop away from me. I'm going to have a low side. So yeah, that's I'm a bit more confident again. That wasn't filling me with confidence the other day. It was in the wet, and you don't need that when you're going into roundabouts or around corners where it feels like the front end's going to wash out. So yeah, so I've set my settings back to, and I don't know if your bikes are like that. Put it down in the comments if they are below. But Aprilia's, or Apes as I like to call her, yeah, very sensitive to that type of thing. With tyre pressures is another one, and types of tyres as well. With these Bridgestones you have to run quite higher tyre pressures than you do with the Avons. There's another biker. So today I want to have a little bit of a rant while we get caught up in this traffic here. It's all to do with all this business with the COVID-19. I don't know if you're having the same issues in your country as we're having over here. I've watched other people on YouTube, and it does seem to be the case. We've just had another protest in London, this time with people that are calling it out in the Trafalgar Square. There's quite a few tens of thousands of people, and didn't really get reported in the mainstream. However, there was a person who used to be the mainstream reporter, and she has uploaded it up onto YouTube, and she went around interviewing a lot of the people that were at this protest. I mean, you did get your odd bellends there that were causing trouble with the police, fucking clowns, and but a majority of people, it was a peaceful protest, and they were middle-aged to older people. You had a lot of younger people as well, but business owners, directors of companies, and they're just calling out the government, because I don't know if it's like it in your country, but over here it's not as bad as what's going on in Australia with VCPs everywhere, checking to make sure that you're not travelling around too much. However, over here we're just getting the information that's coming out is just absolutely nonsensical. It is ridiculous. It does not make sense. And then the politicians, well, we've got Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and you get these other politicians coming out, and they all blame it on the science. And you can't just blame it on the science. You've got to look at the reality, the numbers, what's actually physically happening. It's like over here, it just doesn't make sense. The death rate is not high enough to warrant what is going on, and at the end of the day, it's another strain of flu stroke virus. You should be looking after the pensioners and people that are at risk, and that's a given. You would be doing that at winter time anyway. Over in the UK, old people get the flu jab, so they get the virus and obviously they're ill for a couple of weeks, and then that should make them okay, so they don't end up going to hospital and dying in hospital. And that's just standard, and that's what's happening over here. At the minute, it just makes no sense. They put everybody into lockdown, they've now released everybody, the kids are back at school. Guess what? Kids are coming back with sore throats and getting the like cold symptoms. It's not COVID symptoms, it's just cold symptoms, and it's just throwing everything into turmoil, because people are then going off and getting COVID tests when they don't need to get COVID tests because they've not got any of the other symptoms. It's just absolutely bonkers what is going on at the minute, and it's like I said, it's nonsensical. We're running the country into the ground, and it just does not make sense. They're stopping people from seeing families, yet you can go to work, or I can go to a coffee shop and mix with random people, go to the supermarket and mix with random people. It's just absolutely bonkers. Yes, if you're travelling on the underground, on buses, coaches or whatever, yes, wear a mask, wear gloves, you know what I mean? And they should all be deep cleansed. That's a standard, especially when it comes to flu season, because it will stop just the normal flu as well. That's a given. However, over here we've got a problem with people coming over from France. So as you know, at the minute, currently we're still part of the European Union, but they're allowing people to come from whatever part of the world to travel unchecked through Europe to France. French are then letting them get on boats, they're even supplying them with boats to then come to this country. We're a small island on the coast of Europe. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're stopping our own people from going about and going to work and earning money, yet we're letting these people get in a dinghy, come across the channel, one of the busiest sea lanes in the world. You don't know what they've got. They're all male fighting age young men, and you don't know what they've got. You don't know if they're criminals, you don't know if they've got passports, you don't know if they've got AIDS, if they've got HIV, if they've got COVID-19. We don't know. And then what we're doing? We're putting them up in hotels, 5-star hotels. How mad is that? It's bonkers, isn't it? And this is the type of crazy shit that is going on in the UK. It is mental. What's it like in your country? If anyone's abroad, please put it down in the comments. What the hell is going on in your country? What ain't helping is this bleeding Trump election that's carrying on at the minute, isn't it? They've got their elections coming up, the presidential elections. America's going into bleeding meltdown. California's ripping itself to bits. Everyone's leaving that because of the Democrats over there, and it's like our Labour Party running it and running their states into the ground. Absolutely madness. Anyway, that's my little bit of a rant. I don't want to get too political because it's all bullshit, isn't it? There's nothing we can say, but unless everyone gets out there and protests, that's what needs to happen. We need to start exercising our rights and freedoms, because what they're happening is they're all getting taken away from us, and they're blaming it on COVID-19. Absolutely bonkers. Anyway, that's enough of that bullshit. So on that note, I'm going to end this video here, and that is Jim Diesel out. So I thought I'd make it a quick one, and on that note, I'm going to end this video here. But like I always say, I don't say that either, because I did it in the beginning. Cancel that.